How are you guys? We back at again, back at again, back at again. I gotta find a name to call you guys. Like, do y'all like be you lit squad, be lit squad, flames, my flame squad? Oh, my flame squad. What's up, flames? How are y'all? Because it's not flames and like not in a demonic way. It's just I have overcame everything that was meant to destroy me. So by that being the case, I rose through the flames. And that's why it's called Be You Lit. Because if you ain't lit, what are you? Everybody can be something, but can you be lit in your own way instead of what you believe in? You can't. But it takes you being lit. And I feel like that's how everybody should be. Everybody should be themselves, honestly. But here we go. Let's get into it. The eviction that changed everything. April 12th of 2025, the day I got evicted. I know what y'all thinking. B, how did we even end up here? Well, let's rewind. When I first moved to Colorado, I was in an on again, off again relationship that had lasted about 2 years. But I didn't move here for anybody though. I moved here because I knew there was something waiting for me. And ever since I was 18, I always believed I was meant for more. I always trusted that feeling. And I had secured my apartment here, but I couldn't move in for another week. So I stayed in a hotel. On the third day of me moving to Colorado, I found out my ex had a whole child, a whole, like literally a whole child, and was already living in a house here. And what makes it even crazier, I found out through his brother that was the same brother that I dated first. Stop. Now I know what y'all think. Don't judge me. Y'all, that was my only relationship, and we all have a story. That night was wild. Fights were fought. Emotions were everywhere. But that's the old Brandon. We don't live there anymore. We're at peace now. Remember that. Clock it. So that night, I made the most important decision of my life. I chose myself. I never depended on anyone. I always been a hustler. I always been self-made. I always kept a job, made my own money, and never waited on any handouts. Fuck is you saying? When I finally moved into my apartment, I didn't have a job. After spending 4 years and working in factories, I knew I wasn't going back. But the problem was I had no idea what came next. So instead of forcing life, I slowed down a lot. I stayed present in the moment because of the present moment is all you truly have. So I started doing day labor, making 50 to 100 a day. Very small. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. And then one opportunity led to another. Before I knew it, I was working on four different jobs at one time. I was doing construction, security, landscaping, and even worked at an inflatable bounce house company, which was honestly one of the coolest jobs I ever had. Y'all, that job was so fun. You just blew up bounce houses and cleaned them, took them down, and just did that all day for like 9 hours. That shit was fun. It was hot, but it was fun. And looking back, none of those jobs were random. That was me discovering myself, trying different paths, learning what genuinely aligned with me and who I was becoming. Every day was another step. Then one day it hit me. Brandon, you're way, way, way stronger than you think. Everything around me is falling apart. People tried to manipulate me, distract me, drain my energy. But the crazy part, I start loving the obstacles that was coming my way because none of you bitches want on shit. Y'all wasn't stopping nothing. How you gonna mess with something that God chose? Like seriously, stop playing with me. But back to this. If you've been following this journey from the first installment, then you already know I walk by blind faith. I always walk by faith, hope, and trust in God that He will guide me exactly where I'm supposed to be. Do I get it right every time? No, absolutely not. I'm human, I'm disobedient, I make mistakes, and every single time I get off track, God always has a way of pulling me back where I belong. And, and every time I return, I always be stronger, wiser, more at peace. And honestly, what I thought was punishment was actually preparation. without even realizing it, I was shedding a lot of years of trauma from my preteens all the way up until my 20s. Today, I can honestly say I wouldn't change anything. Like, I wouldn't change nothing. Like, it was hell, y'all. It was hell, y'all, but I ain't ducking nothing. Like, I will do it exactly like that all over again because look, like, what? I don't know what else to say. I don't understand. And if I can do it, you can do it. But honestly, back to the story. Today, I can honestly say I would not change anything because nobody was coming to save me at all. And I had to face everything head on. I felt like I was climbing out of a dark hole with no safety net. But where I found myself was in that dark net. Like, it kind of balanced that way. Like, I don't know. And then when I honestly had another realization at that time, Brandon, you're an entrepreneur. The real reason I kept trying so many different things wasn't because I was lost. It was because I believed in something that I couldn't see yet. To people who watched me at my lowest, to the ones who doubted me, to the ones who tried to break me, for the ones that tried to underestimate me, I'm still standing. Bitch, where you at? Hello. Matter of fact, bitch, I'm big mama. No kids. What is you saying, nigga? No. Back. Okay, now here's where things get even crazier. After I got evicted, I stayed with a guy that I had been working with the last 3 days. Some people really can't handle genuine energy, kindness, confidence, and respect. Instead of appreciating it, they really reject it. They just like reacting to it. But in that moment, and when I walked away, I told myself, Brandon, you came way too far to depend on anybody. You all you got. You all you honestly ever had. And that's exactly when I made the craziest decision ever. But it worked. I invested into myself, not just mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I poured into my appearance, my confidence, my healing, my future. And for over a year, I chose me. You can do it too, unapologetically. I face every fear that I had been running from. Today, I don't fear people, I fear God. And because honestly, how could you lose if you already chose? God makes no mistakes. Nothing is a mistake. And it's like, I'm not perfect. I never claim to be. But every single day, I wake up and try to become a better version of myself. There's always room to grow, there's always room to improve. And one thing I've learned is you can learn something from anybody, no matter who they are, no matter where they come from, no matter what state of life that they're in. You can learn something from them. It may not be big, but you can learn something. In the end, it's just like overall, never forget that if you watching this from a dark season, keep going, please. Sometimes your biggest setbacks is really setting you up for the greatest version of yourself. God is real. I just want y'all to know, like, God is real. Don't just believe it, live it. Live it. And my story is only getting started because life is a movie, but there'll never be a sequel. And like I always say, it's not luck, it's lit.